The night at Walmart, an idyllic scene with a quiet ambiance and a star-strewn sky. It was supposed to be a simple late-night shopping trip, but it transformed into a disturbing experience that engraved itself into my recollection. And to be honest, right before I set foot in my car, my intuition was strongly urging me to stay home that evening. When I stepped inside the familiar store, per usual, I found myself navigating through aisles, collecting my essentials, when a man approached, seemingly eager to lend a hand. With an easy smile, I kindly told him, "No, thank you," and continued on my way. But from aisle to aisle, his persistent offers of assistance turned into discomfort, refusing to relent regardless of my polite decline. His unnerving proximity was making me increasingly uneasy. The unease burgeoned as I neared the checkout. His presence felt claustrophobic, shadowing my every move. It was crazy. This man was actually following me. Oh, my God. Rushing towards the exit, I could sense his lingering steps behind me, reminiscent of a scene from a suspenseful movie, the kind that makes your heart skip a beat. Riddled with fear, I started running. As I arrived at my car, my trembling fingers struggled with the keys, eager to escape the bizarre encounter. Once I got inside of my Honda Accord, I peered back nervously, half expecting to find him looming nearby. Instead, my heart raced faster when I noticed him stalking in the distance. Fortunately, a security patrol appeared, prompting the freakish guy to fade into the night's obscurity. Almost forgoing my seatbelt, I sped off. A huge sense of relief flooded through me as I drove home, every moment feeling like an endless journey until I reached the sanctuary of my home. The night's memory remained, haunting my thoughts, leading to a silent vow. Never again would I set foot in that Walmart, convenience notwithstanding. Opting for a different location, even with an extended drive, became a small sacrifice for peace of mind. This unnerving incident served as a reminder. It emphasized the importance of listening to my gut feelings, no matter how subtle the discomfort. The thought of the man's intentions continued to unsettle me. What if the security patrol hadn't appeared? What if I had lagged a moment longer? It reinforced the absolute importance of prioritizing personal safety. In the aftermath of this horrifying encounter, life moved forward, but not without an amplified sense of vigilance. I have become hyper-aware of my surroundings, ever more cautious of those lingering nearby. It was an incident that constantly left me on edge, firmly advocating the significance of safeguarding human security at all times. The experience led me to explore self-defense classes like Taekwondo, empowering myself with strategies to ward off potential threats. It has ignited a keen interest in understanding the psychology of fear and strategies for personal safety, seeking solace in knowledge that could potentially prevent such encounters. This incident didn't just fade away. It fueled a passionate campaign within me to raise awareness about personal safety, urging others to trust their instincts and stay vigilant. I have also begun engaging in community programs and forums, contributing to discussions on self-defense, hoping to empower others with the knowledge and tools they need to protect themselves. Additionally, I sought therapy to cope with the residual fear and anxiety lingering from that haunting night. I really appreciate my therapist. Talking through the emotions, processing the event in a safe space, has gradually alleviated the persistent unease. My name is Samantha. I'm 20 years old, and I have worked at a Walmart for almost the past 2 years in a small town called Jackson in Alabama. Since I don't attend school full-time, my boss often assigns me overnight shifts, especially because the store is open 24 hours a day. This particular night was from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. I was one of only a couple of employees doing stock work. There were 1 or 2 employees at the front registers. Our store, nestled in the countryside of Alabama, rarely saw much business during these late hours. Nonetheless, it was an opportune time for restocking. I started my night folding pants in the men's department and tidying up. I kept my headphones in since there was usually no one to instruct me otherwise. A customer approached the jeans section around 11:30 p.m., asking if we had a specific pant size in a different waist size. I apologized, mentioning we only had what was on the rack. After the brief interaction, I inadvertently made eye contact with him as he arranged the jeans. It felt a bit awkward, but I continued with my work. As the night progressed, the store began to resemble a ghost town. It must have been around 1 a.m. when I was in the appliances section. I noticed someone watching me from the next aisle. Upon closer inspection, I realized it was the same customer from a couple of hours earlier. How could he still be in the store without making his presence obvious? I quickly finished restocking the shelves and then went to the back area. I felt uneasy, suspecting he might have been watching or following me for longer than I realized. I took a moment in the employee lounge, playing on my phone before deciding to switch to grocery work, just to be in a different part of the store. I was in the dairy cooler, arranging milk products, when the door burst open. I found a spot to hide, assuming that this man had been lingering around, perhaps following me. I concealed myself behind a box, waiting for what seemed like an eternity, expecting him to leave. However, as I cautiously peeked out, I saw him right there, standing over the box, smiling. His expression changed as soon as I screamed. He tried to muffle my scream, but I pushed a box of eggs toward him. The noise from the falling eggs startled him, and I managed to run past him. I found another stock worker, an older guy, Bob, and sought help. Strangely, the man from the dairy cooler appeared, claiming to be Tom from corporate and apologizing, saying he was merely checking on me. He then swiftly disappeared, instructing me to finish the appliance section. The next day, I inquired with one of the managers, Margaret, regarding a corporate visit, mentioning the creepy man named Tom. Margaret found no record of any corporate visit or anyone named Tom being expected at that hour. A police report was filed when they discovered through camera footage that this man had been stalking me throughout the first few hours of my shift. That was truly scary. I expressed to Margaret that I couldn't do night shifts anymore, and she understood. I continued working there, primarily handling day stock or cashier duties. The tribulation left a lasting impression, leading me to prioritize safety and caution in every aspect of my work routine.